inside, in this eye, 있을까? Dive into your eye.
For this thought bubble, I wanted to talk more about the boycott of Hybe, JYP, SM, YG and Starship that I talked about in the previous thought bubble. So go watch that to know exactly what I said if you haven't. So, I already said in that part how I find the boycott stupid, because they boycott now for companies being associated with Zionist brands, but would never choose to boycott under other circumstances where these companies are associating with potentially horrible brands or horrible people a part of the brands because of their picking and choosing attitude. Another reason I mentioned was also that this boycott won't do anything, and that boycotting takes longer than a month and takes long to the point the place you're boycotting is actually hit. K-pop stans boycotting K-pop companies for a month will barely bring a dent to these companies that won't affect them. Plus, boycotting for a month will not only not benefit Palestine or hit companies at all. I also realized that K-pop stans will go back to giving their money to these companies after the month-long boycott and will go back to doing the same thing they were choosing not to do, which led to the boycott happening in the first place. That is giving the companies money who are associated with Zionist brands. So them boycotting because they don't want to give money to companies associating themselves with Zionist brands. What will happen after the month is over? Y'all will go back to doing the same thing y'all chose not to do during this boycott, which gives me another reason not to support or take part in this boycott, and actually do the opposite by calling out how stupid it actually is. Y'all choose to boycott for this whole month but will not achieve anything, and once this month is over y'all will go back to supporting companies associating with Zionist brands, which will show that this boycott was a waste of time anyways, because y'all failed to realize how a boycott goes on for longer than a month, and that y'all also failed to realize that these companies are too huge to just boycott them for a month and that's it. It's just dumb. In conclusion, y'all boycotting for a month will not hit the K-pop companies, y'all boycotting for a month won't affect them. And more importantly, y'all boycotting for a month will not make them stop associating themselves with Zionist brands. Do y'all actually think that a month is long enough for companies to get hit to the point they'll stop associating with Zionist brands and do better? Do y'all think that can happen in just a month? No, it won't. It's physically impossible. So again, I'm telling you that to stop this time-wasting boycott and help Palestine in other ways which can actually benefit them. And instead of boycotting K-pop companies associating themselves with Zionist brands, why can't you just boycott the actual Zionist companies? Why are you choosing to boycott K-pop companies for their association with the Zionist brands, when you can just boycott the Zionist brands themselves? It's the same with boycotting Hybe for Scooter Braun. Why can't you boycott Hybe America, which has Scooter Braun in it, instead of boycotting the whole company? Seeing this boycott, I found many things wrong with it. It's just a huge time waste no matter what angle you look at it from. Just stop boycotting K-pop companies, it's that simple. Your boycotting will not be helpful if after the boycott month is over, you'll go back to giving companies money, because before, during and after the boycott things will never change, and companies will still be associated with Zionist brands, and your efforts to try and boycott will have been a waste. And whoever thought it was a good idea to make this boycott a thing must have not thought it through. Plus, even the K-pop stans promoting this boycott must have no critical thinking whatsoever as well. Why is it that I'm the only one to see through the dumbness of this boycott and no one else as yet has seen it? Also, why do K-pop stans blindly partake in things without thinking about if it will do anything or not? I'm just disappointed in the people thinking this helps anyone, when K-pop companies won't even feel anything with this boycott and will continue associating with Zionist brands. And you'll continue streaming after the month is over and will do the same thing you chose not to do during the boycott, which is to give your money going to the company because of Zionist brands, since the brands will still be associated with K-pop companies after this boycott, because you guys are too dumb to realize anything.